For years, News 5 has laid out the problem of domestic violence in our communities and, of course, the fight to break the cycle before it's too late.
And now we've learned a pilot program to identify high-risk situations in Cleveland is expanding into the suburbs. News 5 anchor Mike Brookbank looks at how the program is reducing domestic violence homicides.
There are very emotional situations.
So far this year, officers in South Euclid have received more than 60 calls for domestic violence.
Domestic violence is one of the most challenging situations that we respond to.
South Euclid, the first suburban department to roll out DALE, the Danger Assessment for Law Enforcement.
It really focuses the officer's investigation.
The 10-question checklist helps identify those victims at a higher risk of being killed by an intimate partner.
It helps raise the victim's awareness of risk, which is really important.
The Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center, now known as the Journey Center for Safety and Healing, initially rolled out the program in Cleveland.
We're just excited to really build on the success that we saw in Cleveland.
Over the last 3 years, officers in the city's 1st and 5th districts conducted more than 4,000 risk screenings. 46% of them were considered high risk.
We saw a 62% reduction in the average of domestic violence homicides in those 2 police districts.
It's the kind of progress the Cuyahoga County Victim Witness Service Center wants to now see in the suburbs as we continue to see an average of 25 to 35 domestic homicides a year.
We are slowly chipping away at that number and continuing to reduce those people who are being seriously harmed and ultimately killed by an intimate partner. We're reducing those numbers.
Funding from the Cleveland Foundation helping expand the training and implementation of the risk assessment to a handful of departments. Aisha's Law, currently in the Ohio Senate, could expand its reach even further.
If that legislation would become law in the state of Ohio, all departments would be mandated to do something like this.
I really do think that it needs to be expanded throughout Cuyahoga County.
Chief Kevin Niedert tells me this training not only better protects domestic violence victims,
Maybe I am in a bad situation.
it strengthens their case in the courts moving forward.
I'm seeing reports that are better written. They have a little bit more detail because they're asking more specific questions.
Reporting in Cleveland, Mike Brookbank, News 5.
Now, the Journey Center for Safety and Healing tells us they know not all victims call police or go through the legal system, especially in communities of color, but they're still able to assess the risk for clients even if they don't engage with law enforcement.